YouTube, what's going on? Another car video. Just want to talk about something that I've been seeing going on in my life and my friends' lives as well. That's the lack of self-love as a young man a lot of men have for themselves. Because inherently growing up, you aren't really taught love and respect for yourself. You're taught to work hard and protect and provide for others, family members, friends, significant others. You're never really taught to direct that love towards yourself and to cherish yourself. You're taught to essentially be chivalrous and fall on your own sword for the better of others. And the problem with that is a lot of guys, they find their self-value and self-worth through what society determines to be valuable, which is a provider. But young men have an inherent self-worth regardless. By default, they need to love themselves and cherish themselves and take care of themselves. But let society tell it, you're supposed to work, provide, and die. And I'm starting to see that within my own life and friends' lives, that it's just having a very negative impact on them. A good friend of mine was, currently he's going through lady problems, and I was talking to him, helping him to, release his pain and express himself in a safe space by people who are there to support him. And he was saying that he just didn't feel valuable, he didn't feel loved or cared for because the person who he placed his love and care into was not returning it the same way. They were actually neglecting him and treating him less than. And he was distraught because he was like, I must not be worth anything because why am I being treated like this? And this guy, he's someone that I know that I can vouch for, that he works extremely hard. He's extremely knowledgeable in his field of work. And he has a ton of potential, and he expresses that day to day at work and outside of work. And to hear him talk about himself in that manner was disturbing, not only because it was a complete contrast from who he is, and secondly, just because I personally thought he thought of himself higher than that. But for me to see him in that vulnerable moment to show how he really truly feels about himself, it made me sad because I know that he's much more. And that made me do some self-reflecting, and I started to look at my own self like that. I was like, I show everyone else love and care, and I pour so much into them. And when it comes to me, I'm constantly tearing myself down. I'm my own biggest critic, almost my own biggest hater. And I started to it was like me looking into a mirror when I saw him express himself. And I'm glad that he did that, not only because I was able to be there for him in his time of need, but at the same time, it also helped me to look within and try to, troubleshoot some of the things that I'm doing to myself. And just throughout our entire conversation, I was starting to see that not just him, but myself as well, we place so much emphasis on not being worth a damn from outside influences. Like, he felt less than and worthless because the girl he's currently dating is treating him like shit. So he felt like shit. He felt like he was nothing. And I had to remind him, I was like, bro, no, just because someone doesn't see the value in you, that doesn't mean that you match that value. You're not less than just because that's how she's treating you. She just doesn't cherish you. She doesn't deserve you. And I started to see that since no one ever told him that he's more than enough, no one ever told him that he's cherished and that he's appreciated and he works hard, and no one ever told him these things. So he just thought he wasn't, he was just going day to day, just doing what he was told to do, like work hard, provide this, do that. He was told all of these things, and he was just trying to fulfill them without understanding that he already fulfills them. Not only does he do that, but he exceeds at what he does. And that really threw me for a loop. It made me think, like, man, I wonder many other young men are facing these problems and these issues, and they have no idea how much of a blessing they are into the people's lives around them. But entire time they thinking they're a plague, or they're worthless, or they don't mean anything, and they're distraught, especially once the house of cards falls. The source where they're receiving their validation is no longer healthy. Say if, like, you know, like, I'll take my friends as an example. The girl he's dating, she starts to neglect him and treat him badly. She was the crutch that was holding him up to allow him to continue to go. But once she fell through, he had nothing there to support him, and he crumbled. I'm glad I was there to help him in his time of need, though. But he should be able to support himself through his own self-love. He should be reminding himself, like, yo, I work hard. I'm not garbage. I'm not trash. I'm more than what these people are treating me like. So even then, when they do start to treat you badly, you can support yourself, because you know that's not what you deserve. And that really it helped me to grow in that space, because I once was like him, relying on outside validation to feel good and to support me. Just a crazy dynamic when you think about it, and it sucks that society presses on like that. No wonder all these young men are latching on to any type of masculine role model. That way they can find some type of mold to form themselves to. That way they can hopefully receive the love and care that they need. Just like we drink water and we eat food, we need love and we need compassion and support. Just because we won't physically die without it doesn't mean it's not a necessity. And I hate that the large majority of young men feel this way. So they devote themselves to all type of things, some good, some bad. I feel as if that's why we have such a large increase in gym culture now these days, because these young men aren't finding any value within themselves other than being able to lift 315 or being able to, you know, curl 60s or something like that. Just something minuscule. Like, in the grand scheme of things, none of these things mean anything. You should be loved and valued before you were strong. You know, you have inherent value as a human being, as a young man, especially in this society, because it's built off the backs of your labor. If all of these young men these days just up and quit all of the meaningless jobs that they do, America would implode. It would cease to exist overnight. Makes me sad. I pray that it changes in the future. Hopefully that my channel can be some sort of medium to help spread that message. Young man, you are loved. Young man, you are cherished. That reminds me, today I had a young dude. I'm young myself. It sounds kind of weird me saying this, but I had a younger guy come up to me in the gym. He's like, hey man, I just turned 18 and, you know, I'm trying to get off to the right, on the right foot. You mind training with me sometime? And, you know, he's not unfit. He's in shape. He says he's been playing football his entire life. That's great, you know, but I started to think, like, what do you mean get off to the right foot? You're already in the gym, training, working hard, you know. You're not out on the block. You already are off on the right foot, young man. You don't need me to help facilitate your growth. Keep doing what you're doing. And that lack of just masculinity and that masculine love and support, these younger guys are going to start seeking it from different places. I feel as if that's why the rise of Andrew Tate was so prominent, just because these dudes, they're looking for that next masculine role model, and it's hard to find these days. Damn near impossible. hopefully it changes in the near future. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's just my thoughts today. Won't hold y'all up any longer. Get ready to go into the new year. Get your mind right. Get your spirit right. Go talk to the Lord. Ask him for some wisdom. That's what I'm about to do. As always, if you have any counter arguments or any points you would like to add, leave them in the comments, or any video ideas, leave them in the comments as well. I'll try to get to them. And as always, peace.